schools include social workers, librarians, nurses, therapists, and the like that can better serve the needs of all students and increase parental involvement. However, without requiring all the services, principals could use that money at their discretion to serve the needs of the students in their own school. So, do you believe that every school should have a certified librarian, counselor, nurse, and social worker provided for by the HISD central office?
I believe that we have 215,000 unique students. I believe we have 280 unique school communities, and I don't believe in one size fits all. I have 2 kids. They're different children, different schools, different needs. I don't believe in one size fits all. I want to live in a world where we have enough money for every single school to have every single thing. I think counselors, nurses, and librarians are all really important. However, I do believe that principals, with support and guidance from the administration, should have the latitude in collaboration with the parents and community members in their unique school community with their unique student population, should have latitude in their budgeting decisions on how they staff their school. I don't think there's anybody in this room who has kids in a school that is going to want to have more kids piled in a classroom or have a music teacher fired. There has to be some balance.
So I'm a strong believer in the decentralized model. I think that principals and teachers and parents can make those decisions best at their campuses rather than things being mandated from the HISD administration. So I support the principal's ability to choose on their discretion whether or not they feel they need a librarian or a nurse, or if those positions should be full-time or part-time or what have you. Now I know that a lot of those decisions are currently made because budgets are tight. They have to make tough calls, which is why I feel like we need to conduct our line-by-line budget review, shift some of that 40% that's eaten up in administration back into the campus, so it makes those decisions a little easier, so there's a little more money for those principals and teachers and the parents to have some freedom, have some flexibility to put in the staffing that ideally that they would have.
Okay, I'm going to answer the question and I'm going to add a little bit more. So, yeah, I believe every school should have a counselor, a nurse, and a librarian. I've been at schools that don't have counselors. It's not a really good idea. I've been at schools that have counselors that are still in charge of testing. That is also totally ineffective. I've been at schools that don't have, my kids have been at schools that don't have librarians. And guess what? It's okay at first, but after a couple of years, the library really starts to suffer. And what happens oftentimes if the principal is in charge of all of those essential positions, they end up getting rid of, say, a librarian or a counselor and hiring an administrator instead. And that would be fine if that principal was going to be there for 15 years, but that's not the case. There's a huge principal turnover rate in HISD, and we're asking somebody to be the steward. We're asking principals that are there for 2 years to be the steward of long-term plans within our schools. I know, I've been in HISD for 7 years, and I have yet to have a principal for longer than 2. My kids have been at 4 different schools.
I believe principals should have some autonomy. I believe in the decentralized model, as long as every child in the school is succeeding. When the superintendent started this new Achieve 180 program for our failing schools, for the schools that have to be turned around this year, or the board will be taken over by the state, the components that were required in those schools were counselors and librarians and nurses. And as long as those are support systems, children need those systems if they are not excelling in school. If everything is fine and everybody's doing well, then the principal should be able to direct the resources of the school how they see would best fit their school. But our libraries were decimated in 2011 with the budget cuts, right when we cut all the special ed teachers. And here we are with these schools in improvement required status that now we're scrambling to try to turn around, even though some of them have been failing for 6 or 7 years.